you guys. So, my parents' 27th year anniversary
Wedding
is
anniversary.
on Friday, July 3rd. So I decided to make just a little video about, just marriage and how they've been able to last this long and, stuff like that. Because Black love matters. Okay? So I'm just going to interview my mom right now, today. This is my mom.
Hey, y'all.
So, Madre,
Dadre, yes.
how did you guys meet?
Oh, wait. I think we go back and forth on that. No, we don't go back and forth on that. We met at a basketball game. His best friend was my best friend, but we didn't know each other. And his best friend brought him to a basketball game that I was going to be at. And that's how we met. I think that might have been my junior year. I think that was my junior year because we had a little, we went together then and then we broke up. So I think that was my junior year though.
Okay.
I think so.
You said y'all went together and y'all broke up. So how did they go? How did y'all?
We went together my junior year, and then my senior year we were still going together, and he was in college because he was a year older than me, and I wanted him to come and take me to the prom, and he wouldn't. He couldn't. He really couldn't. But my understanding was zero about that. I wanted him to come to Dallas and take me to my prom. So we broke up for a long time. For some years we broke up.
So years.
Yeah, long enough for me to be with another person, to have a baby, long enough for that to happen. I think when we got hooked, I saw him and I was pregnant. I hadn't talked to him or seen him, and I saw him and I was pregnant. And I was little bitty and I was not showing, to my knowledge. Nobody else could look at me and say, "You pregnant?" Nobody else. I was walking around. We used to go to Keys Park back in the day. That was the hangout. And we were out there walking around, passing the guys with sitting on their cars and stuff. And I saw him from a pretty good distance, and I was trying to turn my A around because I was like, I do not want to see him. And I was with my cousin. She's like, "Girl, you ain't gonna know nothing." And that I saw him, all his friends knew me. They were speaking and everything. And he was kind of sitting back in the cut and came up to speak to me. And instead of speaking, he said, "So you pregnant?" And I was like, "Who, me? But what?" Yeah. I didn't admit it that day. I didn't admit it that day. I was just like, what in the world is this? But he knew immediately, but he was hurt too. I could see it in his face. He was hurt.
Niggas be out and hurt.
And then they be hurt, Take a nigga to the prom then, Nah, that wasn't no reason to go out and get a whole baby dog. But he was hurt though. We didn't talk again for quite some time. I think D may have been one when we reconnected again. Yeah. So it was. We had some time in between.
I know that's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about like if I ever reconnect with my ex. Well, some of them ain't got no chance, but
Right.
I'm just thinking like I ain't like years. I be talking to my friends about it like years.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And every time we would reconnect and talk, it would be instant. It would be instant that we would just pick back up. No matter what was going on the outside, other people involved, whatever, we would just be like acting like we were just careless.
Right.
forget them. It's about us in this instant, you know. So yeah. You right there. He got to go to work, so we gonna pause for a minute.
So last time you were saying that y'all just automatically pick back up, and that's good. I know one person like that. That's funny. But we never been in a relationship. But, yeah, but we kind of, I don't know. I ain't telling out my business.
This ain't about you.
Not
Tell me your story, honey. Let's switch seats, okay?
Okay. Okay. Fast forward. So y'all got married. So y'all linked back up. And, y'all made it work.
Yeah.
How long y'all dated before y'all dated?
I would say D was 4
About 3 years.
at our wedding. No.
No.
D was, you was
3.
there.
If y'all been married 27 years, I was 3.
D, I feel like you were there. AJ wasn't there.
So she was 7.
So she was 7. So I would say we dated about 3 years before we got engaged. And the engagement was raggedy. I kept wanting him to do this big old grand thing, you know. I found out pretty quick he not gonna do nothing because I want him to. He not gonna do it my way. As a matter of fact, if I make too big of a deal of it, it's gonna be totally the opposite of what I say. It was raggedy. I was just like, Lord. He came. I was at a car wash with the church that I was going to at the time. We was having a car wash, and he came up there, and was he on the force? Because I want to say he was in his police car, and he came up there and handed it to me out the window. Yes, raggedy, and I was standing around like, did he give you a box? I was like, it ain't nothing. It ain't nothing. What is this? He was mad about something. I think I had been saying something or hinting, or I had been doing something. So you wait till I'm up here at this car wash, and you come up there and give me the ring at this car wash. Like, since you can't wait, just here.
That seemed like some dead.
Just raggedy. I was just like
being compared.
you know me. I ain't care. You're not gonna mess up my groove. I still made a big old deal of showing everybody, blah blah blah. You know,
So
just opposite. Like, you're not gonna kill my groove, bro. You're not gonna kill it.
still this way to this day.
Still this way to this day.
Both of them. So after all these years, 27 years.
Married, 30-something
Yeah.
in the game.
Yeah. That's a long time.
Yeah.
What would you say? And give us the real stuff too now.
You know I don't play. I don't hem and I don't hum.
What would you say? I mean that because you know that's just rare. That's a rarity. You know this day and age, and then you started out young.
Yeah.
I'm 30.
Yeah.
My friends, I got a couple of friends that's married, but
Yeah.
ain't a lot of us get married. Like that. So
Yeah.
and then who's to say that we gon' make it that long time? That long time if we do. So what would you say? Just if you can say one thing, maybe. I'm pretty sure it's more than one thing, but what would you say? One thing that kept y'all going this long time.
You know, 27-year anniversary on our 26th year, we went to counseling. We went to counseling because all of these years were just, I'd say somewhere like 10 is like rough. 7 to 10 is just like rough, especially with us starting young. Men and women don't grow the same. They don't think the same. When we got married, it wasn't no all this stuff that's out here, all these tools that's out here. So I think I was married to him about 4 or 5 years, maybe more. And Oprah came out, baby. I was like, wait a minute, I ain't being my best self. Like, I'm just worried about him a little bit too much. And I started changing the way I thought and stuff like that. And when I started mentally changing, it was like he thought that somebody was in my ear. I can't be just mentally changing because he was comfortable and we were good for as he was concerned. But then I started saying, what? I'm supposed to spend some time. What? I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to do that. You know, so I would say that never get comfortable. I say never get comfortable because I know when we went to counseling our 26 years, we had just really got in a comfortable rut, passing in the night, doing the stuff that we know we have to do for each other, but just comfortable rut. When I would say, okay, am I really being fulfilled? Am I really being valued? And when we said the stuff out loud at counseling, I think we were both shocked that we both had some stuff that we had just sat down in and decided this is who we are, and really got comfortable and wasn't telling each other that we really didn't like it.
Yeah.
So with that, I would say I don't think we don't talk, you know, because we can lay back there some nights and just talk all night and stuff like that. But I think the hard stuff we ignore a lot. And I think that's because we've been together so long and we know that we will get over it. You know, we're going to eventually get over it. We're going to be okay. But to not ever talk about that, that's why you relive it. And I think that in counseling, I've noticed that both of us, even we still, honey, we can get down with the best of them. We can do that with the best of them, but that don't last weeks and days, and I can pass you through the night, baby. I don't have to say nothing to you for some day. We can't do that no more.
Right.
We're not there anymore. And I think a lot of that come with growth. And that's what I say about you and being 30 and you know yourself better. I didn't know myself and what I even needed. I just knew I loved him. He treated me good. He was a hard worker. And that was the stuff I knew. I didn't think about, okay, so do y'all both believe in raising kids the same way?
Right.
Do y'all both love God the same way? What about church? Where y'all gonna go? I didn't think about none of that stuff. And all of that comes with age. And that's what I say about some of the people that's in your age group. I think y'all are more aware than we were.
That's good.
Yeah.
I was something you had said stuck out to me that, you know, as far as like don't get comfortable, because we do that, like even in dating relationships. I just know with some of my past relationships, you date a nigga and you know I talk, and you just date them for so long. It's like y'all married because people putting y'all together. And like, y'all, and it's like, oh yeah, that's how we date. Like, oh yeah, this not he like my husband. I said, no, nigga, y'all dating.
Yeah.
Like date him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I've been trying to, you know, just be more mindful of that.
Yeah.
I was watching this show last night, and it's called Everything I Did Wrong in My 20s.
Something I heard about.
And something she said was like, we get so used to playing like a character in performance that people start to apply their performance for so long that we not being our true self.
True self, real self, yeah.
We being that performance.
Yeah.
That's what we
Yeah.
being in our areas of our life, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, that's real.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that was good. That was good.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned how, you know, you more self-aware now, and how I'm self-aware as a single woman at 30. How much of an importance, you know, does that weigh on your marriage? Like you said, going into it, like how we gonna raise kids, how is your relationship with God, what church we gonna go to? How much of an importance it is to have? Would you say, is it having your own personal relationship with God? You know, as a woman or as a man, like each person, how important is that?
I used to be so mad because when I met Anthony, everything about my life was about church because I was in the choir. I was one of the main people in my choir. We were always going, always singing. It was always a church meeting or always something. And when we were dating, that never got in the way. When we got married, that got in the way. So that was a point of contention for me because I'm like, I'm not about to stop going to church.
Yeah.
So my whole thing became, how am I gonna get him in church? That was my whole thing. I need to get him in church. I need to get him to a place where he is in church, because that was my thing. You can't leave me. You can't leave me if you ain't in church. You can't leave me if you ain't in church. So D, don't walk about her sleep to my husband. So I made that my mission. My eyes got off of my ministry, off my walk, off my everything that had to do with God, and it went to him and what I wanted him to do. And it took me some years to understand his relationship with God ain't gonna have nothing to do with me. It didn't have nothing to do with, do he love me enough? It didn't have nothing to do with nothing but separate, his relationship with God. If I tell you, I got it was like an aha moment when I said I will not talk to him about going. I will not say nothing to him about going. I'm just going to make sure I'm going.
Yeah.
And when I started doing that, first of all, it was peaceful for me. Like, you know, he used to tell me all the time when I was on it all the time, you ain't got no heaven or hell to put me in. And I woke up one day and I said, you know what? You're right. I don't have one heaven or hell to put you in, because I'm trying to make it myself. And that's a daily walk. So it was like I woke up and I was like, and I think that came with my growth, my own growth that I started having in church and in relationship. You know, he likes a church, I go to that church because I can get God wherever. You know, I can get him right here at this house. So he liked the church. He didn't like the church that I had been in for over half of my life. And I left that church because I just wanted him to go. But then even with that, it was always something, you know, the job, the something. So I just had to take my eyes off of him and put my eyes on God and let God deal with him. And it paid in dividends. And even like today, when I think about his relationship with God now, and I think about how different it is from when I was trying to make him do something, you know, I had to give that up. And that was hard for me because I be wanting to tell you what to do and I be wanting you to do it. So that was a hard struggle for me, and it was something that I really had to pray about. I'm not saying nothing. I'm not saying nothing about this. I will use his words. I ain't got no heaven or hell to put you in. You got to make that decision. But I know that we're stronger when both of us are on the same path. We're stronger, but at the same time, when you as a wife are serious and committed, God is not gonna let you fall because you're trying to win Him. So he gonna keep you doing and being where you need to be because you are a vision for Him to see what God can do.
Yeah.
So you don't have to tell Him. Just act it out and live it out. That's what I say.
That's good, girl. All right, well, is there anything that you want to say to your husband?
Oh, to my husband.
Of 27 years on Friday.
Oh, Lord, honey. I would say that we have seen a lot of people that started when we started that are not here. And I think that we had way more issues and way more things that we could have said, I'm done. It's easy to quit. And I think that when we've both been asked, even when we was going through something, or mad, even when we went to counseling, that was the first question that they asked us. So, do y'all want to be together? And the answer is always yes. So I would say that if the answer is always yes, you got a chance. And I don't think we've ever said that the answer was no. Well, we be talking noise, or we be talking noise, but the answer has never been no, you know. So I just feel like we both chose the right people for us. I'm just the right balance to your seriousness. I'm just the right balance to that. And you're just the right balance to my frivolousness. I will write a check for 25 cents if I've got 50 cents in the bank. But you don't do that, you know. So you're the right balance. We just fit. We're just a really good two pieces to a complete puzzle. And I'm just so grateful that this is where we are and that you accept me for who I am and I accept you for who you are. And I love you so much, and I hope we make it 27 plus more. And I just want us to have some grandkids eventually.
Girl. Well, if my husband watching this.
Okay. Come on.
That was good.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Madre.
You're welcome, Dadre.
Hi, Dad.
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
Okay. So, doing this video for you on Mama anniversary. Now, y'all 27 years tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just had a few questions I want to ask. How did y'all meet? How did your mama meet?
We met at a basketball game back in senior year. Uncle Fu introduced us to.
And who was Uncle Fu?
That's my best friend.
That's your best friend?
Yeah.
Uncle Fu was his mom. My God, it. Okay. Now, in the time, did y'all just meet and then how did it go? Like, y'all just kicked it off right off top?
No, not right off the top, because first of all, I guess he called her and told her that I wanted to meet her.
Oh.
And then he called me and told me that she wanted to meet me.
Oh, so he trying to play a little setup, matchmaker.
Yeah, he set us up like that. Yeah, it was a William Hudson basketball game. I went to the game. Me and him went to the game. And she was sitting over there on the other side where the cheerleader was. And I guess she saw food and she came over there, walked over that way. And I'm sitting there looking, I had a little hat on my head, but I'm watching her as she walked over there. Little bow-legged girl, pretty girl. I'm like, damn, I ain't say I ain't say nothing, just said to myself. But when she came up there, she talked to food, and she kept on trying to look in front of me, trying to see who I was. You know, she kept on bending over, trying to look and see who I was. But I had no hat on my head on, and so, I spoke to her, but that was it. You know.
Yeah.
And after that, she left and walked back over toward the way up there. Damn fool with that, you know.
Why you so much trying to keep it playing though? At first.
Yeah, that's how it is.
That's what you about to do.
Yeah, that's what we supposed to do back then.
How y'all started dating? Like, did y'all?
Well, I called her and talked to her a little bit on the phone, and told her, she said, yeah, blah blah blah. Found out that food set us up like that.
Yeah.
So we just conversated for a minute.
So you never didn't know who she was before that day, or you?
No, I never knew.
Oh, okay.
I just happened to go to a basketball game. I saw the cute girl Bowen come across. I said, damn, fool with that. At the same time, she was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But, we never said nothing until after it was over. Food set us up. And I finally called her and talked to her on the phone for a little bit. And we started, just talking.
Yeah.
For that minute.
Well, shout out to Uncle Pooh.
I guess.
Now, how long did y'all talk before y'all dated? Would you say?
We probably talked for probably a few weeks before we started. Before we started dating, and we dated, but we didn't date long. Then we dated probably for like I'd say four months. Something like that. Might have been less than that. But I'd say about 4 months. And at that time, I was trying to go to school, and she was still in high school.
Yeah.
But it was probably about 4 months or so, and we just broke up. I went on to school, and she went on and did her thing. Just I saw her again. I think at summer, the next summer at Keys Park. That's when I saw she was pregnant. I kind of disappointed then, but hey, what could I say? I wasn't with her. So,
Yeah.
but I was in school then, so I couldn't say that. But we spoke and had a conversation. That was it.
And y'all just stayed friends.
Right. Yeah.
So how y'all reconnect after Keys Park?
Well, she had a baby, which is Deanna, our oldest child. I just happened to see her out one day. She saw me and we talked for a few minutes, and she gave me a call and we started talking and being on the phone.
Yeah.
She came by Mama's house and we talked for a little bit. And before you know, we just started talking and ended up going to church with her. We just started back talking again.
Yeah.
But by that time it was a few years after Deanna. I think it was 2.5 years old or going on 3. We started back talking. And by that time we started kicking together. The next thing you know, shoot, we was dating for a little bit.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, we was together. And next thing you know, she pregnant again. That was when you came.
Yeah. Okay. How long did y'all date before y'all got engaged?
Let's see, we dated. I wasn't gonna get engaged until I got out the academy, so probably right about 4 years, 4.5 years, something like that. Cause I think when we got married, you were 3 turning 4, so it had to be right about 4 years. Deanna was 7 turning 8, I think.
Yeah, because
Something
I'm
like
27. I'm
Yeah.
30, yeah, so
So
right for you.
probably about 4 years, and I told her I wasn't gonna do nothing. If we do anything, I want to make sure I had a stable job, because I know if finance would mess up the marriage quick, and I didn't want to go into trying to ask her to marry with me not completing the academy.
Okay.
So, but once I completed the academy, I told her we'd get married then.
So you want to be financially stable.
I just want to have a stable
secure.
job.
Yeah, be secure.
Right. You
Yeah.
know, I know if we didn't, it would have been a problem because I've been going job to job and there would have been a conflict. We probably would have got into more arguments behind money and stuff. So I didn't want to go into no marriage with me not having a solid job.
That's good. Okay. Do you remember how you proposed?
She said she crazy. I don't know. She tried to say I come up and just say, here, girl, you know, here we get married. No, I remember me going to get the ring and I was over at Mama's house and we were sitting outside and it was, you know, it wasn't no I got on one knee, but I was sitting in my old car and I pulled the ring out and said, hey, you still you want to get married? It wasn't that I got on one knee or nothing. But
But you gonna expect my man to get on one knee.
well, yeah, I expect you know, because I try to be traditional now. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand. I come hard. I didn't we come from the hood. We didn't know everything. I wasn't expecting no marriage at the time. I wasn't expecting me being married. You know. But as I got older, started learning more things about life. I think, you know, as a father, as a husband, you know, you learn how to do things more now. So. And I would expect that man to come to you or come to me and ask for your hand in marriage. I expect him to, you know, do what he's supposed to do. You know, at this age, they understand more. We, you know, back then it was just you date, you know, and you ask to marry. But I did ask to marry. I didn't get on one knee. But,
yeah, she did say what you said at first.
yeah, I know that's what she said.
Yeah,
It never happened like that.
that's funny. Okay. So what's one thing, if you can say one thing, I know it's more than one thing, but what's one thing that you think kept y'all going this long for 27 years? No rush.
I was just main thing I was thinking. I would say probably just communicating. At least telling the person how you feel, whether they like it or not, whether it's gonna be hard, whether it's gonna be some arguments, whether it's gonna be I ain't like this, but you gotta at least be honest with you how you feel about something. If this bothering you, it's bothering you. You know, and I just have to be able to tell her, you know, we gotta be able to talk. We can't keep on closing up. You gotta be able to talk. You gotta be able to say what's on your mind. We gotta be able to try to be honest with each other. You know, so I think the communication is the main thing. It was hard. Don't get me wrong. It was hard, you know, because sometimes we both can be closed-minded. You don't want to hear what the other person had to say.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, you don't want to accept it that you wrong sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, so but I think that was I got to give her, you know, with all the hard work. You know, we still stayed together, even though I might didn't like you this time. You didn't like me this time. You know, but for the most part, you know, that person gonna try to beat up for you, regardless how bad you look at it, how bad you don't like him. I think he wrong, or I think she wrong, but I wasn't trying to go to a place to hurt you. It wasn't no place to try to hurt you. It's just a place of how you telling somebody how you feel. So I think that was the main thing, to be able to accept it, you know, because I know some things was hard for her to accept, so some things was hard for me to accept.
Yeah.
But you got to be able to say, hey, look here. You go back and you sit down and you think about it. Sometimes you just say, no, I can't do that. I ain't gonna do that. But when you think about it, you start saying, well, it ain't that bad. You know, it's something that, I mean, this person I love, I can bend on this here. And before you know it, the bend become, you know, it wasn't, why would I even hesitate now? Why even argue about that? It's something ain't worth arguing.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then you got to also understand, we both individual persons.
Right,
So,
right.
and so you got to think, I can't read her mind, she can't read mine. And it may not, she might have felt that way at the time. You know, I might have felt that way at the time. So, you know, as you know, like I said, as you grow and start understanding each other, you know, we realize, well, hey, it ain't that bad for us to go our separate ways. You know,
Yeah.
we stronger together than separate. You know.
That's right. That's right.
So
I like that.
yeah.
So you know I have a ministry there in Hanshaw Pretty. So um, my last question is, how much of an importance is do you think is having your own personal relationship with God, or going into a marriage, or before you go into a marriage, or in a marriage period, like, or you want to talk about like how is your relationship with God and how has it changed in your marriage?
Well, it's always important for the individual to have that relationship with God before she commit to somebody else, because you got to understand.
Or he?
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. That
Right.
with she, you right. You know, before he or she
Mm-hmm.
commit to somebody else, because you can't go nowhere in the relationship if you don't have that connection with God,
Yeah.
because everything comes through God, you know. And here what I did was, I guess, your mama grew up in the church, and somehow she assumed that, maybe because, I'm come from a hard. We both, I mean, we ain't have everything, but I know I ain't have nothing, and I come from a hard background, but maybe she assumed that I didn't have that relationship with God at the time, and so she figured that she had to force me or fix me to have that relationship. But I always had a relationship with God,
Yeah.
you know. And but just because I didn't work at the time she wanted to work, but I've still always had that relationship. And everybody have a way of going their way, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get there, and I'm already there, really. But I had to understand some things that I was going about doing some things that I knew I was doing right, but she looking at it as if it ain't go the way she wanted to go, I was doing it wrong. But you just had to stay focused on your relationship with God and stay firm on it, and it'll work out in the long run. As she got older, she realized, well, he doing this. I don't know, but you have to have that relationship with yourself too. You got to understand that you can't force yourself on somebody else. You got to let him. All you can do is put it out there, and pray for that person. That's what I said. If you praying for that person, relationship, it's gonna come. They're gonna come, because as long as you know he got a foundation of God, And so I think that was my point. She was too wanting me to be there, but I was there. I wasn't there on her time.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm all in now. So I.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's take time. That's maturity also. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You know, just because you don't see me, they don't think I'm not praying. I'm always praying. I had to pray for us to stay together. I had to pray for times you want to get out and walk away. Times you want to cuss me out. So just, But
Yeah, that's weird.
yeah. So, and that's sometimes, the person, just because you don't see me praying, that don't mean I'm not praying.
Amen.
Yeah, so,
That's real, Daddy.
yeah.
All right, well, that was good. The last this is mom. Is there anything that you want to say to your wife of 27 years tomorrow?
Well, I just thanks for being on this journey with me. I know it's rough, and it was one time, but we had some good times and we had some bad times. But to be able to stay firm with us and be able to sit down and look at me, and we can now just continue to say, hey, we don't pass the bumpy road. We still gonna be some times where we gonna go through something, but at the same time, I know you there now.
Mm-hmm.
I know you gonna be there with me. I know we gonna grow together. I know you got my back. You should know I have your back. So, and I love her for that. And I want her to know that I love you. So, I'm gonna always be there as long as I'm here on this earth. I'm gonna be there for you. So, and I appreciate you being there with me. I appreciate you growing with me. So,
Feels good.